Scott,
Claus.
I know in the history of you in the shop, you ended up doing an interview with probably one of the greatest and most innovative singers, songwriters, stage performers, and filmmakers, Kate Bush.
Yes.
Tell us about this.
Well, I really looked into it. A local radio station, WAPS, they were one of 12 stations that got to do phone interviews with her throughout the country when the Central World album came out. The program director, who was a good customer of mine, said, "Man, I don't even know what to ask her." He said, "You want to do the interview with her?" I said, "Absolutely." So he said, "Well, write down some questions," and he gave me the time to come to the station and everything. So I don't need to write anything down. I have so many things I want to ask her because I only got like 5 minutes. We were on a conference call and everybody got 5 minutes. I think I went a little over, but I think everybody did. But she couldn't have been nicer, you know. My first question was because I'd always read about her fear of flying, and that was one of the reasons they used to give for her not coming to the States, was she was afraid to fly. So I asked her, I said, "Kate, is it true or is it a little overblown about your fear of flying?" I mean, it was like talking to a friend. She was so sweet, and she's like, "Oh, it used to be, but I'm much more comfortable with it now. I took the Concorde to New York City a few months ago, and it was lovely." And that just started our conversation, and we talked like we grew up together. So, you know, at that point, she was on her 6th album, and she had plenty to come.
And you did actually get a chance to finally sort of meet her, but you didn't get to see her in person.
Well, I've been to England 3 times, and 2 of those times were for Kate Bush conventions. And I set up a table at both, and the beauty is I was like the only real vendor. And they you know, part of the thing was, so, you know, bring your stuff to sell or trade, and nobody else brought any. And to them, it was all imports.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, there was a line at my table going, "This guy's got imports." And everybody just came to my table. I was making more money in the few hours there. I was set up than I've ever made in that short period of time anyway. And it turned out her brother Patty was there, and he walked by my table and he started looking at stuff. And he was amazed that I came from the U.S. Then his mom, Kate's mom, Hannah, came over, and she was the sweetest older English lady I ever met. I mean, she was just such a proper English, just wonderful woman. And I was so honored. And then Kate came out, and she was so surrounded by fans that I actually didn't want to be another one of those bugging her, going, Kate. So, unfortunately, I kind of regret it a little bit that I didn't actually talk to her and get her autograph. But at the same time, I think I did the right thing. But I do have a Hounds of Love autographed by Hannah Bush, Kate's mom, and Kate's brother, Patty Bush. I talked to each of them at least 15 minutes apiece. And that whole family couldn't have been any nicer.
A great big thank you to Scott at Time Traveler Records for sharing his experiences with Kate Bush. And we will end up seeing you all. Where are they next time?